wrote that scene, if you were lucky enough to have written that scene, or written an episode like that, Jason and I talked about episodes that he wrote, how they just came to life. You had those actors, you had that production value. You shot that on the back lot of in CBS. You created that ride out of nowhere. But editing, I keep thinking about, I don't see shows cut like that, cutting around like that to music, not just the music, not just Kelly Rowland, cool. But we had very daring storytellers. Our editors would push us further. And so a writer would write a scene, and then suddenly a writer would say, well, wait a minute, maybe I could cut this scene into 5 parts and intercut this scene, and trust the actors, trust the crew. I mean, I think, David, I'm awestruck by what everybody here did.
In the writers' room, I say, like, you can never pull this off. And then you two get it on a TV budget, and then David, like, the shot that you got. And yeah, junkyard dog. I didn't.
Dave came in the room and he's like, put in a junkyard dog.
I actually, that really is kind of beautiful for all of us collectively, and there's just such a pride. I do want to mention one other very big component of the show, and I have a very funny story that I just remember that I think you might all enjoy. Dick Clark, who's no longer with us, obviously, was just, I mean, more than anything else, I mean, he was the inspiration, but he was also an incredible mensch. And he was incredible, both Jonathan and I, at various times during the course of the show. There's a time that I remember when we were trying to clear Let It Be, and we were having a tremendous amount of difficulty. We'd gone to see him, and we told him all the various avenues we had gone through to try to clear the show through all the legal wrangling and all this stuff. He just sort of looked at us and he said, I'll call Paul. So he sort of told you who he was. But he really was just such a great guy. And the funny thing was that Jonathan and I, independently, both early in our careers worked for Dick as PAs. And when we were making the pilot, having seen all that bandstand footage, I don't know how much you guys know the story, but our incredible production designer, Phil Tulin, had to recreate the bandstand set. And there was nothing, it was important that he recreated it as much like the actual set because we were intercutting with clips from the show. So he couldn't just build whatever he wanted, but nothing existed. There were some photographs, there were no plans, and funny enough, years later, somebody had sent us some Super 8 footage. Somebody behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes, and it was shocking how close we were, except all the colors were totally wrong because everything was black and white. So we were shooting the pilot, and Dick came up one day, as he would do, when we needed his help. He was our angel on our shoulder. He was our 800-pound gorilla when we needed him. And Jonathan had this great idea to do press with Dick, which was a great idea if we were trying to sell the show. So Dick came up, and it was on the day that we were shooting Bandstand. And at one point, he was sort of standing by himself, and I walked up to him, and I said, Mr. Clark, did we do a good job recreating your set? Did we do honor to your childhood, as he always referred to it? And he sort of looked at me, and he had a tear in his eye, and he said, my set never looked this good.
And that day, it's exactly right, because Dick was blown away by the whole thing. He was thrilled with it. He watched every episode. He loved it, and he one day came to the set and said to us, you know what the poet, the writers always say, you can never go home? I'm home. And we were, he was a great, great influence on us, but I do want to say the other two people who weren't here who I wish were here would be Gail O'Grady, who I think is a tremendous actress and showed everything she did there. Two more. Will Estes. We were joking, like, he got to play a football hero, a war hero, an astronaut. Done. And Keith Robinson, who recurred as Cousin Nathan, who, Sam was saying, torn one way, torn the other.
And Matthew John Armstrong.
Oh, and Matty, Uncle Pete.